Hi guys, here are my notes from today's lesson on 9.1 circles and circumference. So one thing we should know is that a circle is the set of all points in a plane that are the same distance from a point called the center, okay? From that center, there's a straight line that runs right across the center, right through the center, and that is known as the diameter. It's kind of like the equator to our world, okay? The diameter, it runs the distance right across the center, okay? And then we have a point, or not a ray, that goes from the center of our circle out to the point on the outside edge of a circle. This is known as the radius. And the beautiful thing about the radius is it's half of the size of the diameter. So the first part of your problems tonight is going to ask you questions like, if they give you the diameter, what's the radius? And you should be thinking, oh, well, the radius is half the diameter. So if I gave you and said, if the diameter is 8 yards, the radius would be, well, what's half of 8 yards? If you said 4 yards, you are correct. And then on the upside, if I ask you to find the diameter and I give you the radius, you should just be able to double that radius. All right, so if I said to you, if the radius is 15 millimeters, so it's only going halfway across my circle, and I asked you to find the diameter, that would be what? What would be 15 millimeters doubled? If you said 30 millimeters, that would be correct. So that's the first part of your homework tonight, is just, if they give you the diameter, they're asking for the radius, so you double it. I mean, you cut it in half. If they give you the radius and they want you to find the diameter, then you double it. Okay? The next part of your assignment is going to be finding the circumference of a circle, which is the distance around the circle. Okay? In a way, it's like finding the perimeter of a rectangle. Okay? We find the outside distance. So there are two formulas that you're going to be using. Circumference equals pi times the diameter, C equals pi d, or circumference equals 2 pi r, which is 2 times pi times the radius. The r is radius, d diameter, and this little funky little symbol is the pi symbol. Okay, so you will see pi, spelled P-I, using this symbol right here that looks like a little mushroom or a roller coaster. And it's approximately, that's why we use the squiggle lines here, not equal, to 3.14. Okay? I would say we're going to use this number the majority of the times that we're solving for circumference, or whenever we're using pi. Sometimes, though, we're going to use the fraction version, which is 22/7. I would suggest using this version when whatever is being multiplied by this can be divisible by 7, therefore causing your fraction to go away, no longer having a denominator, okay? So most of the time we're going to use 3.14, but if it's a number like 14, 28, any multiple of a 7 that 7 can divide into evenly, then you can use 22/7. Okay? All right, so here's an example. I have a $5 token with a radius of 2 centimeters, and I need to find the circumference of this coin. So I'm going to choose the formula that uses radius, since that's what's given. So I'm going to use C equals 2 pi r, and I'm going to plug in what I know. I know pi, since 2 is not divisible by 7, I'm going to use 3.14, and r is my 2 centimeters, so I'll plug that in. Okay, I know 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 times 3.14 is going to equal 12.56 centimeters, and I'm going to put approximately. So my circumference of this coin is approximately 12.56 centimeters, okay? And I'm using approximately because we're not using the full value of pi. Remember, pi is a number that goes on and on forever without ever repeating a sequence of values or of its numbers, okay? Second question, I have a pool that has a diameter, this time, that's the key there, diameter of 14 feet. What is the circumference? So this time I'm going to use the other formula because I'm given diameter. So I'm going to use C equals pi d. Now, this time I'm going to choose 22/7 as my value of pi because my diameter is a multiple of 7. It's 14 feet. So I'm going to use that 22/7 so that when I multiply here, I can see, oh, I can cross reduce. 7 goes into itself once and into 14 twice. So my circumference is approximately 44 feet. Now, if I had used 3.14 times 14, I would have come up with an answer 43.96 feet, which you can see 43.96 is very close to 44 feet. That's why we say it's an approximation. Okay, so there are two ways. You can use 3.14 or 22/7, but I would suggest using 3.14 every time unless 7 can divide into that diameter or the radius. Okay? And the last thing that you're going to do today, there are two problems where you are finding the perimeter of a semicircle. So to find the perimeter, this is going to be half the circumference, so the two formulas we just used, plus the full diameter to give you the full perimeter. Because remember, perimeter is the whole outside piece. And the reason we're doing half of the circumference is because it is half of a circle. Okay, so I kind of gave you a little different simplified version of the equation than the book did or the dynamic classroom, where I'm showing perimeter is pi d divided by 2, so that's using circumference with the diameter, plus the value of the diameter to give me the whole perimeter of a semicircle. Or I could also use circumference with the radius, 2 pi r, and that whole thing being divided by 2 plus the diameter. Okay, so let's put this into action. So here's my semicircle. I see the diameter is 7 centimeters, so that's my diameter, right? So I'm going to use this first equation. So I'm going to say my perimeter equals, and I'm going to use 3.14 for pi. The diameter is 7 divided by 2, okay? All right, so I don't have a calculator on me for this one, so 3.14 times 7. That's going to be 28, 7, 8, 9, 21, and I got to move the decimal over twice. So now I have 21.98 divided by 2. So let's divide that by 2. Well, 2 is going to go into that once. 0 times, bring up my decimal, drop down the 9. 2 is going to go into that 9 times, that's 18, and then 9 times. So the perimeter of my shape, oh, and I forgot, plus my diameter, which is 7. Okay, so I'm not done yet. I have 10.99 plus 7. So the perimeter of my shape is approximately 17.99 centimeters. Or we can round that to equal about 18 centimeters. We'll round that up. So the perimeter of this semicircle here is 18 centimeters. Okay. All right. We're going to do one more. We have this semicircle, but now we have a radius. So our radius equals 15 inches. So that as a diameter, if I want to get it to go the full distance, would be 30 inches. Okay. So I'm going to use my second formula. Perimeter equals 2 times 3.14 times my radius, which is 15, all divided by 2, plus my diameter, which is 30. Okay? Well, the beauty here is these 2's are going to divide out. So now I just only need to multiply 3.14 times 15. Okay, so I'm going to do that off to the side over here. 3.14 times 15. I get 27, 15, space holder 4, 1, 3, 0, 11, 7, and I got to come over twice. 47.1 plus 30. Perimeter is going to be approximately 77.1 inches. All right. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on Remind, and I'd be more than happy to answer those questions for you. And also, don't forget, we have our meeting tomorrow morning at 10:45. Thank you.